What happens if my employment is terminated during my I-140 process? I'm Brian Burke.
And I'm Sam Shihab. We're going to talk today about 3 different stages of the I-140 process and the impact on change of employment or termination of employment, its impact on the green card process. The first thing we're going to talk about, Brian, is when the I-140 is filed and pending.
Yeah.
And when the I-140, while it's pending, it's withdrawn. These are 2 scenarios. We're going to break it up and discuss
complex and with some nuance, so we went ahead and put together a nice chart for everybody to display it.
First of all, if the I-140 is pending or is withdrawn during its pendency, there is no priority date that attaches to you. A priority date is a very important date because that's your spot in the line towards the green card process. So if the I-140 is withdrawn or it is pending, not withdrawn, the priority date does not attach.
Yeah. There's a good benefit that comes, regardless as to whether the I-140 is, when it's withdrawn at any time, while it's pending. You get the benefit of the labor certification remaining valid for future use by the employer. What does that mean? Well, anytime you get a labor certification approved, it comes with a 6-month validity period. And when that labor certification is sent to USCIS during its validity period, it becomes valid indefinitely. So let's say, fine, they withdraw your I-140, you leave the company. If they want to bring you back a couple years later, they can revive that labor certification by simply using it again, filing a new I-140. So you get the benefit of your labor certification remaining valid for future use.
Now, with regard to the H-1B beyond 6 years and the H-4 EAD for the spouse, while the I-140 is pending, you're able to extend beyond 6 years in 1-year increment if it's been 365 days since the filing of the labor certification. And along with that, you're able to apply for a spouse EAD. Now, if the I-140 is withdrawn during that pendency of the I-140 stage, these benefits no longer exist, and that's an important distinction.
Yeah, so with the I-140 still pending, you can request those H-1B extensions possibly as spousal EADs, but as soon as that I-140 is withdrawn, you can no longer make those requests. So basically, if somebody's going to be withdrawing your I-140 while it's pending, make any requests you need before that withdrawal because you won't be able to make it afterwards, right?
Yes. Now, switching gears, Brian.
Yeah.
Now, moving on from the pendency of the I-140, and let's say that this I-140 is approved.
Yeah.
Now, again, in the approval scenario, we have less than 180 days, which we're going to talk about now. And within the 180 days, we're going to talk about certain benefits that the beneficiary receive if there's a change of employment. And then we're going to talk about what would happen if there was a withdrawal of the I-140 within the 180 days.
Within the first 180 days of approval.
Yes.
Again, a nuanced scenario for which we have a nice chart.
Yes. First of all, the priority date is locked.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Now you have a priority date the moment the I-140 is approved. And regardless of when it's withdrawn, even if it's withdrawn 5 minutes later, the priority date is locked, Brian.
Yeah. And again, just like the last scenario we discussed, once the I-140 approved, that labor certification is good forever. So meaning even if they withdraw the I-140, labor certification still good. If they want to bring you back later, they can do a new I-140 based upon that labor certification. Fantastic.
Yeah. Now, in the scenario of the I-140 approval, and we are still under the 180 days, the H-1B can be extended beyond 6 years in 3-year increments, which is an excellent benefit. And the spouse EAD can continue to be available for the spouse who is on an H-4. Now, these benefits are not available if there is a withdrawal of the I-140 within the 180-day period.
Yeah, so again, it's really, if you can't escape the fact that your I-140 is going to be withdrawn within that 180 days after approval, make your change, join another employer, get the benefit of an H-1B extension beyond 6 years and this H-4 EAD for your spouse because you won't be able to make that request if the employer does withdraw the I-140 within 180 days.
Right, so the window of changing employment, if there's a desire to do so, is while the I-140 is pending, not
pending or still approved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, what's the next scenario, Brian, that we're dealing with?
So more benefits come once your I-140 has been approved for more than 180 days, and because it's just a fun, more nuanced scenario, we have another great chart to outline it.
Outstanding. So we know that the priority date is available now, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Now, again, the labor certification is indefinitely available, as we have discussed before, so there's no change, and that does not really change whether you withdrew or did not withdraw.
Yeah.
Once you get that approval, you're good,
Yeah.
even beyond 180 days.
Yeah.
Now, what happened to the H-1B beyond 6 years?
Now, once you're approved I-140 beyond 180 days, the employer can't really withdraw it. Basically, once the I-140 approved more than 180 days, you're always going to be available to extend your H-1B beyond 6 years until your priority date is current, and you also have the benefit of spouse EADs, H-4 EADs being available. However, when an employer beyond 180 days submits a withdrawal request, even though it technically leaves the I-140 with approval, they're saying, hey, we're not supporting this green card to the end. We're not supporting an I-45 based upon this. So what do you do in that scenario, Sam?
Obviously, you change employer,
Yeah.
and then you have to go through the PERM and the I-140 filing one more time, but you have the benefit of 1, the priority date, 2, H-1B beyond 6 years until the priority date becomes current,
Yep.
Brian, and 3, the spouse EAD, which is a fantastic
It's a
situation
great spot to be in.
Yeah, and that's really the 3 different scenarios of the I-140 stages
Yeah.
during the green card process, and there is a termination or a change of employment. Hopefully that's helpful for you.
Yeah, next time we're going to be back talking about I-45 and termination of employment. So there you go.
Until then, you guys have a great day.